Welcome. This is Roguelikes You Should Know, episode number 4. Going on number 4 here. Rogue Legacy, obviously the game here. We got ThatNintendoRobot driving the game again. Say hello. Say hello.
Howdy, everybody.
I am SkipMcLazy here as well. This is for me. If you're a Rogue HQ fanatic, then you would have known when we did one of our early podcasts was this game. For me, this was the first roguelike I ever played. Believe it or not.
Can I not get that?
No, money falls in the wall, it's gone forever. So, this would be classified as, I believe, yet another Metroidvania roguelike combo. Many would say, hey, it's a roguelite, who cares? You know, if you want to get real technical about that, you can if you want to.
Roguelike platformer? Good enough?
Metroidvania roguelike.
Metroidvania?
Yeah.
Metroidvania is Metroid and Castlevania.
Yes.
Which is a persistent character, not permadeath. Like, even if you...
But it's a mixture of the two, because technically, like, the fact that you have the leveling up stuff makes it not a roguelike, too. Like that's kind of what we talked about even our last Going Rogue podcast, is like, what are the technical things behind the definition?
Yeah. Let's get right into it. If we gotta do that, we're gonna do it. Let's get right into it. No, we'll get there, right? Or we need to talk more about this game up front?
And Arthur, he's right, So there are some permanent upgrades, so...
Permanent upgrades, that's true.
I mean, that is a big reason why a lot of people were like, well, Rogue is in the title, but it's not really a roguelike. It's like, it's posh on your having to have all your definition. Yes.
Journal entry number 6. I have never liked the dark. I prefer to meet my enemies in open field in plain sight. But now I find myself braving these darkened gallows with one gauntlet outstretched, the other by my hilt. I can never tell what horror lies behind each corner. I am the greatest swordsman in all the lands, yet even I am having trouble keeping these demons at bay. My siblings should be grateful that I rushed ahead of them. For them it was a blessing in disguise. They would not have the fortitude to survive these halls.
Yep, there's some more. There's like, I don't know, 30 journals? Dude, don't stand on the spikes. Rookie mistake.
But,
so you're gonna go after the first boss here? Is that what you're gonna...
What boss? Boss?
This room right here that you're in. Boss room.
Should I do it?
Have you ever faced a boss in this game before?
I didn't know that's what this was.
Yeah, it's a boss door.
I thought this is like what I'm supposed to do, but I'm already filled up on all my little levels there.
Just go for the boss. We may as well. Let's start off with the boss fight.
Let's start with the boss. Keter.
So when he's not attacking you, hit him. When he is attacking you, don't hit him.
When he's what? Oh, I just attacked him all the time.
Well, you can if you want.
What did you just say? When he is attacking me?
When he's attacking you, just dodge. And then wait for the time when he's not attacking you to attack. There you go. What are the 5 Ds of Rogue Legacy? Dodge, duck. Dip, dive, and dodge. Went the wrong way. This is your first time fighting him, so gonna kill you. Yeah, and then die.
And then die.
So here, may as well get into it. We'll start with what is Rogue Legacy. You start off trying to discover what's been happening or avenge the death of your father, as the story goes. And so you go in, you fight these monsters, you end up dying, and you can look back through all of the previous generations, and then you die, and then the next generation comes in and they try to avenge your death and try and figure out what happened all those years ago. Every time you go in, it's a procedurally generated castle for the most part. There are some things that are a little bit specific, like you have the level 1 section is in the middle, You have the level 2 section off to the right. The level 3 section is north. The level 4 section is south. And you have the 4 boss rooms, and you have the final boss room, which is the first room in the castle that you get to. Sorry if that's a spoiler for you, but that's... I figured that out before I was even through the castle the first time. That's something like that was going to happen.
One question.
Mm-hmm.
What is dementia? You are insane.
Dementia is an interesting trait. With dementia, you will see enemies who are not really there.
Oh.
You can always tell that they're dementia enemies because they can't hurt you, and often they're from the wrong section of the game. So, like, you'll see a level 2 character in the level 1 section, for example. So you go through, and we'll actually talk about this. Like, there's actually a leveling up component. The traits is very much... Well, we'll definitely get to the traits. So as you're going through, you're not leveling up. You're just collecting gold the whole time. The gold is the only thing that survives you. Somehow, the ghosts must be nice enough to send... your gold to there's no reason to be in this room. He's not there. Just go. Yeah. Oh boy, that's a nasty little room there. The gold is the only thing that survives you. Yeah, when they have question marks over the top of them, they're not actually there. Yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know. And he's also from the wrong section. He's from the level 2 area, like I said. That little green blob guy. The slime. Jukebox, you can change the music. It's very cool. And you then use the gold that you collect. As you can see, it's got 99 gold. I'm a few seconds behind, but it's 99 gold.
What the heck?
That was a random teleporter. I would escape to the main menu and leave. Just escape the title.
Die?
Because then you'll lose your gold.
Oh, if I escape, well, it's only 99 gold.
Save the title, and then you can go back in from the start. Or, you can explore level 3.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And, let's see. What was I saying? So yeah, the gold will survive you. Then you can use gold to do things like buying weapon upgrades. You get new weapon upgrades by collecting blueprints that you find in the castle.
Skip, I failed you.
It's all good. You're just showing the progression of the...
Oh! Do we want to see that more? It never lets you stop. I just didn't accidentally confirm that.
Whoops.
I was trying to... That happens so many times when I play this game.
We'll
I try
see it
to
again.
go backwards.
So it's okay.
That I make important decisions at random with the controller in this game.
So pause right here
that.
on the castle.
Let's
right?
wait and discuss the castle, Skip.
Tell
me everything about the castle
right
I've been
here.
building up. Yes.
This castle you're building up, this is your leveling up and making you stronger. There's obviously things like hearts for your HP, there's the swords for your damage, and then there's the grayed out sections that right now you don't have enough money to buy because you only have
enough
190
money because I did a poor job last round.
Yeah. But then you'll unlock other characters and other traits, and this gets very branchy. So as you hit, if you were to upgrade the knave next time, that would branch off and open up another upgrade. And these are then permanent upgrades that apply and help you to get further. Now, granted, you'll find that if you play the game, go back and open up a new file, you actually do learn how to play the game better. For example, speed run strats, because we're going to talk about speed running the game.
It's kind of designed for it.
It's just kind of, yeah. You can get, frankly, I saw the developer or someone who worked in development of the game beat the whole game without dying. So, there's that can happen. It's insane. But, get to level 20 as fast as possible, and you do that by going through and beating 1 or 2 bosses without dying. It's kind of crazy. But this is all designed to help you not only have that skill you're developing, but also making it easier on you, the players. It's kind of two-sided. So you can go ahead and go on to the next screen. But you're also from there buying. You're buying classes as well. Oh, you have the trait. Actually, go look at your traits. So hit the Y button. You can toggle the traits. Hit the X, Y, then X. Not that button. Nope. The X button. There you go.
Shinobi.
So you can see he's got traits. He's level 26 Shinobi. He is farsighted. Anything close up is blurry. And you saw that there was the traits we talked about dementia last time, where you saw that There was people there who didn't look like they were there. There's glaucoma, where everything looks dark. There's colorblind. There's bald, which is
What does bald
all.
do? Bald is bald.
When you go into the dungeon, so when you enter right now, it'll say building. If you're bald, it'll say balding. That's all that one does. There's one where you have bad gas, and every now and then when you jump, you fart. So some of them are just because why not?
Right.
Some of them, like Farsighted, you will never pick again because being blurry right by you is incredibly annoying.
I mean, it's not as annoying as invisible, non-existent mobs. Oh!
I mean, I don't know. Once you learn to identify and know who
they
should be where...
Okay, there's question marks on them before you even hit them?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Or when you're close to them. So... There's certain traits that certainly... Like, there's one trait where you are upside down. Like, the whole screen is flipped. Virtually impossible to play with that one. Almost all the other ones I could find a way to play. I've tried that one a few times. But it's part of what keeps the game interesting, because you only have 3 children to choose from each time.
Yes, it's true. And a lot of them are very inconvenient. Where
Yes.
it's making a choice for you.
Well, because it's a combination of traits, but also classes. Like, you're a shinobi.
I am a
and the
shinobi.
shinobi
Yes.
has got good, strong hit points, but I believe the shinobi never criticals. So they never get a critical strike. But
it's okay,
got
I
a
have
good-
nothing invested in criticals.
Yeah, so...
Oh!
I actually like the shinobi because you can pretty much cruise through level 1 and one-hit most things.
And that's all I
which
get
is-
to anyway.
Well, then there you go.
Oh.
So this is what's interesting is, I think we talk about different gameplay and different styles. This is a game that rewards patience. Yeah, R30 says, yeah, just turn the monitor upside down if you get that upside down character.
It's a good tip.
Yeah, that would take... Hang on a second, guys. Or just get one of those inversion tables. That would work as well.
I like this title screen. I never sit at it because it is one of the most addictive games. Because when you do well, you get a lot of money that you want to spend. You cannot spend until after you've chosen your character for the next run.
And so it's always that, well, I'm already in the middle of going into that next one. I may as well play it again.
What is your number one factor in choosing a character right now, Skip?
There's things that are disqualifiers for me based upon what I'm doing at the time.
Okay.
I almost never take a mage unless there's a specific boss fight where I know I'm going to be needing a lot of mana. So this archmage here. Depending upon if I was going to be going into not the first boss, but say the second or third bosses, I wouldn't take... This is just personal preference. I don't prefer using the mage. At least early on. When you get a little bit later on in the game, you get your MP and your MP strength high enough that the mage, you can kill enough things and get enough mana back by killing things that you can basically... You're not going to run out of mana, which is amazing. But what I go for is... if there is a trait where you are weak and you don't knock enemies back. I think...
You don't knock them back?
You don't knock them back. That is, and it's like a weak trait. I forget exactly what it's called. Actually, I'll look up what all these traits are called. I should have had that up. We've got some other things up, but
it's just this. What's this cussing one? What's coprolalia?
He'll occasionally have like speech bubbles where he's cursing.
Okay, that's it.
It's just some of just
IBS, so energetic. That's
good. IBS. That's what I'm talking about. Irritable bowel syndrome. Yeah, that's. I don't like taking that one because it gets really annoying after a while.
Oh wow. So I think we're
ADHD is really nice because you do move faster.
Yeah,
and speed
I like
is a
that.
real nice
Speed is
thing to
good.
have.
Speed's good.
Yep.
On spikes.
And he's a shinobi, and he has the axe. I honestly would just deal with it if I was playing the game myself. But the miner is nice.
As long as we're in this together, that
we're in it together.
Look at
but
that.
See, there
Look
you got
cost of
pluses.
that
Now you can upgrade things.
How about
so,
that?
Yeah.
How about that? I've got cost 470. I've got 484.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like a no-brainer since that was a throwaway run last time anyway.
Yep, and you can't bring your gold with you, so you want to spend as much of it as possible.
These guys are all too expensive for me right now, and I'm not any good at this game, and I haven't gotten past anything, and it's been kind of frustrating. I gotta admit.
You just gotta keep it.
It's very addictive.
But I have found like the first time when you ever play it, if you haven't played it before, you'll find you think that you're only making progress by upgrading. But that's what I'm saying is not quite true, because really you make a lot of progress by being smarter about how you play the game and how you choose to go through the dungeon and how you approach enemies. And you find that the more you play it, with your skill also going up, if you keep at it longer, you can do.
I'm like, come on! What am I supposed to run? Am I supposed to dash?
One of those is a Doom. One on the left is probably a Doom boss. So if you dash, you'll get hit because he's out of position. Oh. He's not evenly spaced.
Okay.
Don't stand on the spikes though. He might not be. Oh no, the one on the right is. I can see the black outline.
What?
The one on the far right.
What are you talking about?
It's a little black outline on the little wooden training.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, you are. Just trying to tell you he was a Doom boss. That's all I was trying to tell you.
I don't like that character anyway. There's ones where you can walk on the spikes. Tough feet or something. This is it, pad. This is it.
You don't want pad, but you could not walk on the. You can't walk on the spikes that are already out of the ground.
No.
So the way that the spikes work that are in the ground is they sense a pulse. Is the way the lore works.
Right.
And so all the dead characters like skeletons and zombies don't have a pulse, and so
I see. It's not like sleeping on a bed of nails. It's not triggering the trap.
Yeah, you have no foot pulse, hence
for Pete's sake.
I'm just telling you the lore.
Dyslexia is just messed up reading.
Yeah,
That's me anyway.
Do you have trouble rating things?
I do sometimes.
Yeah.
If it's dialogue, as you know.
Vertigo? This is what I'm talking about. Have you played Vertigo?
No, it's upside down. Forget it.
You got to do it once.
What?
At some point.
Is that
you got it once? At least once. You got to try every trait out.
Wow, the last one was the worst. Let's see if I can do anything. 33 gold. Oh boy!
I mean, you got no gold anyways.
There's no point. Right? Exactly. I mean.
Yeah, welcome to
on.
Even. I mean, it's literally, and they inverted the text too, so it's not like if you flipped it over, it would all be correct.
Oh wow! What?
Are you kidding me? You have a jump room. That's annoying. See if you can. I mean, you're small. You're good. Doing surprisingly better than I've done. I think I die in the very first room. And you killed 2 enemies. That's a record for me.
Oh no! This guy's son of a biscuit. I hate those guys. I hate these pictures. I hate these pictures so much. Skip.
The picture is known as Doom Boss that I was mentioning before.
Doom what?
Doom Boss. DOOMVAS. I might be pronouncing that wrong. But
can't beat that crap.
The reason why they're the most difficult for most people in the first level is they're the only character in the first level that you cannot knock back.
Okay.
So if you hit them with your sword, they'll keep coming.
Good riddance to that run. Good riddance, exactly. I say.
You've done it. You've seen it. Yeah. You could do it again.
What? Oh, no. Like I say, self-disqualifying.
Yep. EHS is really nice. You conduct electricity well. There are platforms that you have to down spike, down like pogo on your stick, like the old DuckTales video game. And but if you've got the CI, not the CIP, but the electromagnetic or whatever the electro thing the bottom has, EHS, those are all they're automatically extended. So it actually makes platforming, if you've got those rooms, a lot easier. So that's a trait that I like to have. the nice thing about the Archmage is they do have the spell cycle, so you can cycle with triangle. You can cycle through the different spells. So I think you always have 3 different spells to cycle through. What do you have? You have darts. What are your other 2 that you have?
I have no idea. How many?
Hit triangle. Top button there. You'll cycle through them. There you go. You have the time stopwatch and the shock rummer.
I had no idea.
That's spell cycle. You gotta read the game, man. You gotta read what's on screen and what it's telling you. Go, 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 go. Now, the nice thing about Rogue Legacy, compared to most other, like, room-based games in the roguelike genre, is you are not locked into each room.
Right.
Like, you think Enter the Gungeon, you think Fighting of Isaac, you think even, to a certain extent, Nuclear Throne. You're locked into each level or room. You have to do that room before you move on.
Why does it start off so hard, Skip? Am I just that bad? Am I too impatient?
You're a little too impatient.
A little too impatient.
A little too impatient.
2 knaves and a miner. Oh, boy.
Knaves aren't bad. Knaves are... and I wouldn't take this miner. The reason I wouldn't take the miner... The large character actually has a larger hitbox.
Right.
So... a lot of the way the levels are designed is perfect for the normal sized character. You have that 1.5 hitbox, you suddenly get hit by a lot more, and it's a lot harder to get through the designed puzzles in the dungeons. Permaroided, oh, there it is, there's the weakness when I was trying to tell you, where you don't knock enemies back. Once you start getting to going, you start to develop sort of your playstyle, and you count on the fact that you hit enemies and they knock back. When they don't knock back, you tend to die really fast because it's just something you're not used to. I do like Permaroided, being able to knock enemy way back. That's a personal favorite of mine. I don't know why, it just makes me feel like a big man.
It's a personal favorite of yours. I can't not take it.
Yeah.
What's this? What's the smoke monster behind me?
That's because you're a knave. Hit triangle.
I have Y. What's the triangle?
Or not the triangle, or the Y. Whatever the button is on top that you did for the spell cycle, same thing.
Okay, yeah. What? No.
Oh, you haven't upgraded him yet. Never mind, I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay, I'll upgrade him.
Upgraded Knave has got an additional ability.
Okay.
Yeah, each character in the sort of castle unlock phase has their base and then an upgraded version. And so the upgraded version of this guy has a special additional ability.
Oh, what the heck?
This is the type of thing I was saying before about the fact that, you know, you're not ever locked into a room. Oftentimes I'll see rooms like this early on, and I'll just, you know what, let's just go. Let's just go out, let's go past to the next room. And if we have to come back later, we'll try taking out the room later. Or what you can do is run to the other exit and try coming in the room from another direction. Because oftentimes the room you come in first is not the easiest room in order to try and clear the room.
And like when I killed those guys, are they forever dead?
Yes.
That's
When
great.
you kill an enemy, they're forever dead in the room.
Okay.
Now, if you damage an enemy and leave the room, they get all their health back.
Okay.
But if you wanted to, yeah, you can go out and come back in. Now, the Doom boss will already be loose, but he will stop hitting you. Yeah. So it's... And there's other tricks like those mages, the ice and fire mage, the flame lock, and I forget what the ice one is called. They have an interesting thing. When you enter a room with, say, a flame lock in it, either the flame lock will move towards you and then cast his spell, or he'll immediately start casting his spell. That is on his movement though is on a cycle. And so if you walk in the room and he starts to cast a spell at you and you don't like that, just leave the room, come back in, and he'll do his movement cycle first.
Okay.
So it's a great way to sort of cheese your way around some of the enemies. It's kind of learning their movements.
Right. Because that is what it is at Binding of Isaac, is knowing the patterns of the mobs. And on games like this, where it's tactic, I view it controller, gameplay, classic gameplay platformer action as opposed to, turn-based or card-based. All the rave these days when it comes to roguelikes. It's clearly a roguelike the way Slay the Spire is a roguelike. Take no damage? Now how's that possible? Do I have to jump up on this thing?
You need double jump and then dash. If you walk into the spike before you start it, you'll die. Yep.
Son of a gun. Tend to exaggerate.
Oh, that's just more one of those meme ones. The one below, I believe I saw OCD. OCD is an interesting one that if you got an OCD with a mage, it works great because you get MP back by breaking stuff. A barbarian has got so little mana, it doesn't really matter anyway. It's not a great synergy. Again, we're back to talking about roguelikes and synergies. There's not as much in this game as there's a limited set, but certainly the synergy between the class that you're playing and any traits is what will end up being a winner for you. I mean, definitely before you go into a boss fight, you want to make sure you've got a good synergy between who you are and what your traits are and things of that nature. So I've got a page of the traits up. Let's go through this. We've got an ADHD, which gives you 30% faster movement. You have electrophobia. That one's fun. That's where chickens freak you out. I don't know if you run into that one, TNR.
Yeah, I have. I did last night.
That one's kind of funny. Like, as you're going through, like, you'll break things and pre-cooked KFC pops right out, and you can regenerate your health. And chickens are definitely evil after all. I would just cheese it out of that. Yeah, an upgraded version of that guy.
So don't fight it.
There's no need to fight that guy. Unless there's a chest in a room, there's really no reason to
fight the guys. Man, it's totally different from the way I play because of the locking in of the rooms.
Yeah, and that's something that if you play other roguelikes, it's just something that you have to get past your desire to want to clear everything. Like especially once you've figured out good patterns and stuff.
I just now figured out about dashing, by the way, so I'm very proud of myself.
And by the way, if you don't want to go back through, quit the title and start from the beginning of the castle. It's one of those things that was discovered pretty early on in playing the game that even in midair, you can pause, quit the title, and voila, you're safe in the beginning.
What? Really?
Well, yeah.
Like with the money that you have?
Yeah. You go back, just try it right now if you like. Just hit the pause button, hit Y, and then quit the title. Confirm.
Continue your quest.
And you're right back in to the beginning of the castle, same map, everything.
Wow, I did not know that. What?
Yeah. Except you have got this guy in your first room, so maybe it wasn't a great time to have you do that, but hey, you got through unscathed. So, the chickens, if you have the chickens freak you out, instead of meat pops just dropping for you, they become chickens that you have to kill in order to get said meat pop, and the chickens can't hurt you, so it's kind of funny. You can get Alzheimer's, which is you don't have the map function that you can bring up. You've actually not even ever brought up the map, but you can hit select, I think. I can never think when I'm not holding the controller. Bring up the map. With Alzheimer's, you don't have that. You're not really restarting the run, though, R30. You're just going back to the beginning of the castle. So you can't play through the rooms again and get gold.
I don't know. He's got a point. But you know what? But you can do that with any room, though, too. If you can.
But the enemies will not respawn. Enemies won't respawn in the rooms. And any gold you picked up and any things you broke and won't respawn. So you're just teleporting yourself back to the front of the
why
castle.
don't I just jump into that, for Pete's sakes?
Maybe you liked ice.
That's
I don't know.
mean. Do you guys have Sonic where you're from, Skip?
Yeah.
Sonic?
Oh yeah.
Do you go get bags of ice from Sonic? Wow.
I don't. Should I be getting bags of ice
I
for
don't
Sonic?
know. That's what my family does. It's weird.
Huh.
I know.
I never thought about going to Sonic for bags of ice.
So
We used to go to
people
the
said-
7-Eleven.
Oh,
Maybe it's a Texas thing. I don't know.
so 7-Eleven.
Is it 7-Eleven a Texas thing?
It is. It's like created in like
They're
Plano,
based out of
Texas.
Chicago for some reason.
Oh, for Pete's sakes! You see that, man? Come on.
Some games do have save plus quit changes. That's true. That's true. Yep. So this one is just that when you save and quit, going for the boss again.
I don't know what I'm doing. I just now found out that this was even a thing. Why not jump into that one?
Yeah. Hey, Astral. Yeah, 7-Elevens. I don't know where they're based on. We're gonna find out on stream here.
There's no way to know.
7-Eleven headquarters. I'm gonna find this out on stream. Dallas, Texas. You're right. It is the Texas thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are correct, sir.
Thank you.
I don't know why I thought it was Chicago.
Me
Anyway,
neither. How dare you?
I don't know. If you're wanting a tip, I find the best place when he goes into his shooting phase is sort of on the bottom, next to the spikes. Not in the spikes, but just on the bottom. You can just walk back and forth and dodge. You don't have to jump around.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just a tip for you.
Good tip.
I'll tell you how to play. I don't have to do that, but
I'll
you
take
get
the
a
tip.
miner, barbarian. So the miner's nice because the miner, if you go through, if you ever play with the miner, your play
Just give
style you
money.
should absolutely change. Do not clear rooms.
Right.
Whatever you do, it's not worth it. Just go for the chests.
Mhm.
And if there's a couple enemies, go ahead and take them out. But do whatever you can to avoid confrontation. You know. But if you want to play as the miner,
What is the one? There is no spork mean.
that's just an end game thing.
End game thing?
End of the game. Yep.
I forget that. I can't even remember. We're close.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about that one.
So now I
So
got a
you
little bit
know-
of money.
Mm-hmm.
What do you suggest I spend my money, Skip?
What do you have? Who's the unupgraded on the right? Kind of what's the unupgraded thing on the right? Upgraded knave is nice. That's what I was telling you. That
Miner,
turned
but I
into
don't have
miss.
money for that.
For the knave you do, not for the
I do
miner.
have them for the knave.
Yeah.
They can
What's on the far left over there? What are those two over there? One's a crit upgrade, I believe. On the far left.
crit. Yep.
And then the top is that the
Haggle.
So
I think
haggle's
haggle
a
might be
nice. I mean, you keep
Just get more
10% of your
money.
gold every time you go
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
but you do unlock other branches as well. I'd say either crit or haggle.
Let's do haggle. I want to do haggle. Look at that. Boom. New rampart. Cha-ching. Upgrade Shinobi. That's what I want anyway.
Mhm.
I love Shinobi.
That's the reason why you want to get to the Shinobi upgrade. And there's also another.
How do we get to this?
Is that the Death Defy?
Lick.
Never.
Lick.
Oh yeah, the Lich.
Is it Lich or is it Lick?
Yeah, I have no. LICH is
It's
probably
up
a.
to you.
CH makes a ch sound in the English language. You know.
Lich.
Yeah.
Like
The Lich is can be very OP.
the Lick.
Um,
Lick.
The
I think it should be
Lich-
Lick. And everyone is forced to do the Yiddishy.
Yeah. R30's right. I don't think you want to lick a Lich.
You don't want to lick a Lich, but it looks to be a Lich. A Lich.
He's
A Lich. like a
the
like.
Lich was always my go-to boss fighter, and here's the reason why.
Lick.
What you get with him is that you have the ability to convert. Every time you beat an enemy, you raise your max HP.
Okay, that's awesome.
It's very cool.
I really don't.
And then you can do HP convert, which takes your max HP and drops it into your max MP, so you can get your max MP into like the 300s.
Max
and so-
HP, max MP.
Mm-hmm. So then you can basically have what I would look for my boss fights, and this is actually how I beat the game.
Mhm.
is I took a Lich, and he had the special Crow magical attack. Are you familiar with that one?
No.
If you see it, I'll have you take it. It's very expensive. It's like 40 MP if you don't have it upgraded per time. But if you walk into a room and use it, you'll get one crow will spawn per enemy in the room, and that crow will fly and kill the enemy. It's like a one-hit kill. obviously it doesn't one-hit kill bosses, but it does a massive amount of damage to bosses as well.
Well,
So I
like
took a
little homing
lich.
thing?
Yeah. So I had a lich with that magical ability, and I leveled him up, got him to like 300 something MP, walked into the final boss room, and just spammed the crow attack thing, and that's how I won. It was kind of cheesing it, but it's how I won the game the first time.
You just
Yeah.
you sat back and crowed it. No, you
Yeah, I
gotta-
mean, it's
that's the way these games are sometimes. Like RNG.
you find ways.
Yeah. When you play enough turns and you're like, that's not fair. Well, the game gives you a chance to make it not
Guess
fair.
what? Exactly. Guess what? It's fair because I did it. That's why it's fair.
Some of the platforms you can jump over and some of them you can't. Like, if the design is just good enough and reminiscent enough of the classics. But it's I don't know, you gotta play a lot of it. I can tell you gotta play a lot of it to beat the game, you know?
Yeah, you gotta put some hours in. I mean, let's see how many. See, the first I've got it on a couple different platforms. If I look here, I have only 82 hours registered on Steam. I played it on other platforms as well. Also got it on PlayStation. And I'd say if you played it for 40 to 50 hours, you could beat the game.
What is this? What is this business? Is that the in-game
That'd be
stuff?
the final. That's endgame, yeah. You have to beat the other 4 bosses first, as indicated by the 4 other icons on it. You go back to here. Aha, there you go. That's a great. R30 is saying enemies need to follow the same rules that you do, so the enemies are unfair. Fair. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah. No unfair advantages that you can't take advantage of. Indeed. So let's see here. The other traits. I'm not going to list all of them off. There's some that are really interesting here.
Yeah.
There is you have one
I
which
wanna
is
know what they are.
congenial insensitivity to pain, or CIP.
Okay.
And you can't see your health bar, which is a
Oh.
lot more unnerving than you think it would be.
Oh, sure.
You know, you're never certain if you're close
Totally
to death. You're trying to
psychological. Oh, man.
keep a mental tally on it.
Yeah, forget that. I mean, it's not as deal-breaking as the...
There's ectomorph.
Upside
You're
down.
skinny, so every hit sends you flying. That one's a tough one because literally you can get knocked way the heck back into spikes, which is usually what happens. Oh, you get an
For
upgraded.
Pete's sakes!
You got the upgraded Doom boss there in that room. Yeah. See, you're kind of Leroy Jenkinsing everything here. Go in and attack everything at once. It's not the strategy I'd recommend. I mean, for those rooms. Try and pull them over to you, kite them a little bit, take them on one at a time.
Electrophobia.
Chickens freak you out. Yeah, that's the funny chicken
That is
one.
really fun. We gotta at least man this one.
Mm-hmm.
While we're making sure that you know this game. This is rogues like you should know.
Yeah, roguelikes you should know. You need to know this
You
one.
need
I would
to
upgrade
know
your
this
crit. Getting your crit upgraded will significantly help you as well.
Yes, sir.
Especially if you play as the knave, because
you
the
can
knave
get
has a
crit.
higher crit chance to begin with. So upgrading damage your crits can do, not a bad way to pick out a boss either. There's an interesting one called Savant, which says you're talented with a few issues. Basically, all your spells fire backwards, which works actually well for some spells. There's actually one spell which is the dagger throwing spell, where because the spell throws backwards, you can run away from enemies and shoot the dagger at enemies behind you. It's actually a very nice, again, the synergy between the traits. You see a little pogo action going on there. It's the first time we tried pogoing.
I'm new with pogoing.
Yep. Pogoing is one of those advanced strats that you can really figure it out.
Take no damage to take this?
Oh, good luck. So you need the Archmage with the time spell. Ooh, almost had it. Oh, well.
Very, very generous of you. Yeet.
I would have just timed. I would have just pause menued out. But you can do it that way too.
All right, Skip. I don't even have 100. If I don't learn, like if I can't, like they make it so. What in the world? That was a chicken that I ate.
There's another one too, which feels more like an error that they found while they're developing the game. There's a trait called stereo blind, which is where you can't see in 3D. Which you're like, well, this game's not in 3D. But when the sprites turn around, it's sort of a Paper Mario type effect where they can become obscured. So it actually becomes a tricky thing where all of a sudden you won't notice an enemy because these was turning around when you were looking in that direction. So it's one of those ones that's like, oh, that actually hurt me. How about that?
Well, some of them are just tricky. Oh, look at that. The chickens that I kill give me a lot of food.
They give you a chicken. They get a lot of chicken out of that chicken.
A lot of chicken out of the chicken. There you go.
Yeah, a big part of the game is knowing when you're safe, where you are, and not trying to dodge. The game definitely rewards more than I think any other roguelike I've played learning the enemy patterns. Maybe Dead Cells has a little bit more learn the enemy patterns, even though there's no parry on this one. So you have a dash button. I would highly recommend using that instead of jumping between those.
Thank you very much.
There's actually a couple. So there's a couple rooms that we've seen, which have been you walk in the room, it gives you a condition to open a chest.
Just give me this chest, and I'll get out of here, sons.
And one of them has to do with like no jumping, but you have to get over spike pits. Basically, you have to use the sprint dash in order to get there. Now, I should say there's things like the sprint dash. I don't know. Do you have double jump? Can you double jump?
I got more money instead.
Okay.
But I can double jump. We can take
there's different runes that do things like your ability to sprint dash. You can see them doing back and forth. Ability to double jump. There's one that lets you fly that I'm not a huge fan of. It's a limited flight ability. There's things that allow you to get more money. There's things that allow you to regenerate HP or MP or both when you kill enemies. And you can only have one rune per like equipment area, like one helmet rune, one bracer rune, one cape rune, etc. But then you can mix and match to fit your playing style. It's another way of really making the game work for you, which I think that's the reason why I liked it so much, is you weren't ever feeling like you had to play the game a certain way. Just like you can do through other games through the weapons that you get. The runes really help your character behave the way you want it to. Like, I believe my ideal, I had 2 runes that allow me to double jump, the sprinting back and forth rune. You got an upgraded version of this guy in here. There you go. Hey, you got a blueprint, a night key. That's another blueprint. Now you take him to the shop, you can get another piece of equipment, which is nice.
So you don't have to accomplish anything else, unlike in Dead Cells, to get the blueprint. Like you don't have to survive an X amount of rooms or get to the next level. No. If I die, no matter what, it's going to be there for me.
That's correct. Yep. As long as you open the chest with the blueprint, you got it.
Okay. All right.
And a big part of the games, too, is kind of ducking in and out of rooms to see what's in there, and then assessing if that's the direction you want to go, or if you want to go a different direction. And utilizing sort of the map to get around, and trying to find the chests that are in each of the areas. Because while the castle, eventually, while you're playing through, you start to get a handle on enemies and their movements. And then you head off to the right section, so that you start... you get more blueprints, more runes, etc. from each section, but the amount of gold that you get in each section also goes up. So you start being able to, the faster that you can kind of start to master that, then each subsequent level, the faster you'll be able to level up as well. Because eventually, you need more money each time to level up. Because every time you buy something, every time you level up, it costs more. This would be the fourth, Light of Darkness, the fourth area. Be a hard section.
Super hard. Let's get out of here.
You don't quite have the sheer DPS in order to really take them out yet. Not quite yet. I'd recommend the forest. Should be off to your right in some way.
Alright.
Well, I don't know where the entrance is right now. You actually have to go down and to the right, it looks like. But some other fun things about the game, I was actually reading, and I'll post some of these links in the chat as well. You know, the game itself, so Stellar Door Games, the guys who developed this, those two brothers, they'd only developed like some Flash games before they had developed this game, so this was really their first delve into anything that was anything coming close to a major game. And they had a lot of ideas of, in case you're curious, Scott, I would 100% change out your weapon there, I said.
Oh, for Pete's sakes! I just ran right into him. That's ridiculous.
Down you go. Well, now you get to do it again.
At least you get to do it again.
At least you get sucked right into doing it, and you've got a lot of money this time, so you have a lot of
exactly.
Rates.
The better you do, the more you want to play. I like games like that.
Eidetic Memory is really nice as the characters, like the enemies, are marked on your map even before, and the chest locations, even before you're in the room. So that's a really nice trait to have. Now you have to deal with being having dwarfism, smaller reach but smaller hitbox, but also can go in the little small passages. So it's give and take. Barbarian Queen's a nice one too, though. A nice tank. The choice is yours.
We'll go with Barbarian Queen.
All right. I'll continue the story on the developers once we're done kind of selecting through here. So you want that upgraded, what? You want the upgraded Shinobi on the left, I believe, correct?
I do like Shinobi a lot.
There you go. The Hokage. Perfect.
Is there anything else? No, almost.
Whenever you see the yellow pluses, that means that you can upgrade those.
Oh! I should do that then, huh? Armor up.
I played through the entire game once without recognizing it. It wasn't until my second playthrough of the game that I saw the little yellow pluses.
I believe that. I don't think I would know. I'm glad we're doing this.
It's a roguelike that you're getting to know while playing through it.
It's absolutely.
So anyway, this Stellar Door Games developers. They actually had a lot of things in the game, and they ended up, just like many indie developers trying to develop a good, solid game, especially in the roguelike genre, they ended up tossing out a lot of it because it was just making the games too complex. And one of them was actually in an early phase of the game. Now, let me actually post this link to the article. You can read it for yourselves if you'd like to. They had an XP, like where you'd actually get experience, like traditional experience, in the game. And I mean, now if you're familiar with roguelikes nowadays, not having XP is okay. There are other games that do that. That's that's not an unheard of thing.
Right.
It's a common mechanic to have something else that signifies some type of progress.
Right.
Other than XP. But this was this came out in 2013, in June of 2013. Not many games have been made where you didn't have some type of a level up ability that wasn't a sheer roguelike. Do we want to gamble?
Yeah, I do.
you gonna take?
I was lucky this time.
Nice. It's always the first one. I don't think that's true, but I've been really fortunate always taking that first. I don't know why. Could be a red herring. I don't know.
Well, I'm not gonna stop trying.
Exactly. Now, when you've got like 4,000 gold, you might not want to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly what a sore loser. But anyway, so they ended up scrapping it for just saying, you know what, any type of progression you're just going to have to do through the money system. And they ended up, obviously, if you think of the game, if they had something where you had money and experience, you were leveling up, it would not feel like the game it is now, because you would feel like, you know, because then you would be getting stronger as you play through it, as opposed to just during the after the time upgrades, which is a very different playthrough mechanic.
A different person with permanent defects. Yes. The runs would be less distinct, and having good runs. Like that, in a way, this is the way Super Mario Brothers and Kid Icarus, when we were kids, and to a lesser degree with Metroidvania, because with Metroid and Castlevania, we had to know those codes to get us back, because they didn't come with the memory cards like Zelda did. Like when you first played Metroid.
Oh boy, the passcodes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The passcodes were necessary. Passcodes were absolutely crucial. In the world, it's just a total dead end. But no, I think Metroidvania is different than Roguelike because of those passcodes.
I wasn't saying this was a sheer Metroidvania. I was saying it's a mix of the two.
It is, and I think it's more Roguelike.
Absolutely.
That's the nice thing about
that's
what's so nice about loving a concept in a category, subcategory type of roguelike, is you can make that like be absolutely anything. I'm saying like. What else can you enjoy that has the word like associated?
Oh, that's a bad room. That's a bad room. Run away. Run away.
Oh, man.
Two treasure chests, but you got this Yahoo. Use your magic. Use your magic. Use your magic.
Should use my magic.
Don't die with all your magic. That's how you know you've been doing it wrong.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Thank you. 2 blueprints in a row right there.
There you go.
Right before I die.
Blueprints. That's nice. But I highly recommend checking out that article, because they definitely talk a lot about development that they went through to make the game, and definitely some things that made the component what it is. You don't want to die with the Estus flask in your hand. That's a reference that I'm not familiar with. So this is the Maya. This is level 3.
Okay.
Which is harder than the forest. I wouldn't recommend going there yet.
Right, do the forest.
So actually pull up your map.
This room is the brutal one.
Yeah, see if you can find a different way around it. I would honestly go back. I would teleport. Go back to the room before the Maya and teleport back.
Very good.
Yeah. Dark Souls.
Take me home.
I can honestly say I never played through Dark Souls. I know.
People at work are talking to me about Dark Souls.
Everyone loves it. I've watched the play. It's just it's not my style. That's why I haven't played it.
What's the ninja version right now? My friend at work's playing that as well.
Yeah, I was just watching someone play a little bit today. Shoot, I remember.
I hate games and popular culture titles that are difficult to remember. Like, at least give me something, a subtitle of some sorts. The one point of a title is to be clear and
like, I can't remember offhand. I know what you're talking about, though, yeah.
Shh, it's not Shinobi, for Pete's sakes. I don't know. I
No.
have to look it up.
Getting better at the dodging.
Getting a
So that's
little
the
bit.
thing, you play through it, and you learn the pattern. You move your mice. Wait.
What?
Hey, another blueprint. Blood sword. Now there is with the a blood line, which we should check out the equipment shops and the rune shops to show what those look like next time before we go through.
Yeah.
There is a blood line, which your HP is overall lowered, but you get vampirism, and vampirism means you basically kill an enemy and you regenerate.
Yeah, buddy.
So it's risk reward on that one. Lower overall hit points, but you can regenerate.
Sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. A little bit of the intangible, or whatever they're called, cards that Slay the Spire.
Oh, well, the bite. I mean, whenever you're offered
the bite cards. Mm-hmm.
Then you have to lose some
cards.
HP to be overall HP to get vampirism. And I'm sure that's not entirely original in role playing.
No.
For it to be like that, you need to look up something like. If you don't touch them and you leave them alone, will they come after you?
No, just leave them alone. You don't have to pick a fight. You don't have to pick a fight with everything. You can leave most things alone. That's the beauty of this game. When you really start to play through it, is you don't need to pick a fight. You get some meat pops here. There you go. And now you're gonna be heading into the forest. So this is the next phase, and you've got a hard room because it's a chest room at the beginning here. But you got a new mage, kind of an element of earth mage, who I don't think he's in this room, or you would already have the circle appearing underneath you. You'll run into him soon. He's actually once you know his pattern and what sound to listen for, he's actually the easiest of all the mages to dodge. Because he just makes earth appear underneath you, but it's super slow to do so. You just have to dodge out of the way.
Oh, for Pete's sakes! Shut my eyeball.
Upgraded flame lock. Oh, and the skeleton shooting an arrow.
It's a better run, but I thought it was lost anyway.
So here's a fun figure for you, a fun fact. How much do you think the brothers who make up Stellar Door Games, how much do you think they spent developing this game? And then follow-up question is, how long do you think it took them to earn that money back?
Oh my gosh. How much did they spend on this game?
Pop quiz trivia time. Also in chat if anyone else wants to take a guess.
I need to know this still.
I will tell you. This is a pop quiz. Gotta take a guess.
Let's say they spent $894, and it took them a year and a half to get it back, but then it exploded. I don't know. It took them 2 weeks to get it, 1 week to get it back.
So that's a good guess. It's a good guess. It's very fun. So they didn't spend very much money. They spent just shy of $15,000 on the development of the game.
Amazing. Yeah.
If you think about what it takes to develop a really good game, like how little money that actually is.
Sure.
The game sold 100,000 copies in its first week.
Holy moly!
So they made their money back very quickly. And considering that while they were developing the game, one of the brothers was working on development the full time. The other one actually took part-time jobs so that they would have money to eat ramen noodles. Like they were living off of nothing, you know. So it's kind of one of those amazing stories that everyone developing a little to have, and that's exactly what they got out of it. But it's amazing practically how little they spent for how polished this game is, to how quickly it sold, how fast it caught fire.
Sure.
It's kind of an amazing thing.
It's a
So
great
who are
indie story.
you looking for now? Who are you looking for now?
Well, there's a miner. I'm not sure I've ever come across a hookage.
The Hokage. That's
Hokage.
the upgraded Shinobi. That's who you just upgraded. But it's farsighted again, which is I find ridiculous. I mean, for me, it drives me nuts when I'm playing for myself.
Well, I'll give it a shot. I gotta get the Lich.
You do. You have to get him. He's a really fun character.
Mammoth potential.
Yeah.
Crit hit chance up. Teaching yourself weaknesses in this one.
You may want to save your money for possibly the blacksmith. You can always come back. Check out the blacksmith and what he has to say. So you can upgrade his sword would be really nice.
Blood sword, vampirism. That's what we wanted, right? We were just talking about that.
I mean, it's a different way of playing. I think it's definitely more on You're doing more room clearing. So if you're the room clear type, the vampirism sword is more for you.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate.
Now, you can't equip it because you don't have enough. If you notice, you go back, you do not equip it because it's too heavy for you. You have to upgrade your...
For Pete's sakes.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to unequip something else. Because it's really heavy. I wondered if you were going to run into that. But that's also one of the upgrades in the castle, is upgrading your weight, which is like the armor.
How do I do that?
So go back to the castle.
No, I mean, not upgrading. How do I... Okay, it's just a straight up... It's a stat, a simple stat.
Yeah, it's a stat you're going to have to upgrade next time.
All right.
It's straight up 2 above the heart is where it is.
Probably not the best one on stream. I'm nearsighted.
Yeah, so for more casual reading, I just dropped another link in chat if anyone wants to ever check it out. I found that to be a really thing. I thought a fairly handy review of looking at sort of the differences between the linear and non-linear progression and achievements that the game goes through doing, and how it's really more complex than it seems at first if you think about it, because it's got to strike a balance between what you're able to do in a run with your skill versus what you're able to do with upgrades. That's kind of a fun read through. And also, in July of last year, so almost a year ago, Rogue Legacy had its... Oh, you died on your way out of the room. That's too bad. They had their 5th anniversary update. They had their final, what they called their final upgrade. Oh, that's funny. So you have a gigantic skinny guy. That's just absolutely terrible. Oh, look, there's the crow. It's cost you a lot of MP, but as a lich, that's really nice.
First time doing this. I didn't even check the third guy.
Except you'll have no HP meter.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Although I don't believe you have the upgraded lit, so I don't know if you can even do the MP swapping, but still, he's a good character. Every time you beat an enemy, your MP will be because you can't see it.
Right.
So this character is really amazing with the vamp sword.
How do I get to that?
You need to be small. So if you look by the right, just below the middle stair, you'll see a little gray gap.
Darker, yeah.
If you're small, you can go through there. So that is the benefit of going through as a smaller character. Is there's all kinds of little passageways you can go through.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, see, each character there you're killing, upgrading your MP by by 4. So even though you don't know what it is, it's going up, which is good.
That is good. Especially since I think I start off with...
You start off with like 35. You don't start off with very...
Oh, for goodness.
Trying to kill those pictures that are on the wall, huh?
Probably shouldn't have.
Well, it's just more that was just the picture and it wasn't a Doom.
Oh wow, there goes the crow. Dang it. Will that cost me HP?
That costs you 40 HP. Or, 40 HP. Which is more than half. So you only get to cast it once until you pick up more MP.
Wow.
Yeah, it's costly. But it's really nice for those kill every enemy in the room things. So when you pick up a potion, yeah, definitely save it for that room.
I'm not sure I have access to that spell until I have the...
Yeah, you don't. You won't. Yeah, you only have 37 left. Oh, here you go. Now I got some potions, so that's good. Lots of gold there. Love the silver-lined reinforced chest. But so they had their last... Roguelikes had their 5th anniversary, their final patch, as they were saying. They didn't add a lot. They added some... there's some things they added to some boss remixes, basically improving the replayability of the game. They also added a few more traits, which are fun, and as well as being able to rebind the mouse button, which is something that people who wanted to play this game with keyboard and mouse, which is not the recommended way of playing, you couldn't rebind the mouse. You could not rebind your attack. And that was always something that people didn't like. They wanted the ability to just have it be straight up on keyboard. So they finally, with their 5-year anniversary, said, we listened. In their notes, it actually says, 2,207 comments later, and we finally got the message. I hope you degenerates are grateful. So.
Sakes. Well, it's important to listen to the community and then talk back, because I'm sure they were being just as respectful.
The degenerates?
I'm sure the degenerates.
Oh, I'm sure. Just the highest of courtesy.
The sweetest gamers.
Yeah. I'm playing this game because I stole it from a friend of mine. I'm playing it on his account. Therefore, you owe that type of respect. So kind of on that note, did you ever play things like the Monkey Island games or Maniac Mansion, etc.? Which, of course, then they came out with Thimbleweed Park.
Yes, my coworkers are talking about that too.
Mm-hmm. So they actually had, as a part of the Kickstarter campaign, which I actually took them on the Kickstarter like very early on. I was very excited about that game coming out. And one of their reward sections was like, basically it was $5 above, like the base was like $10 and it would get you a copy of the game. It was for $20 usually a copy of the game. And then $25 was, it gets you nothing extra. The only thing that it gets you is will absolve you of the fact that you played our game for free by stealing a copy from your friend in the past. Basically saying, yeah, we know a lot of you stole and didn't actually pay for the games that played it. We'll absolve you of your sins. Wow. And don't forget about your dash strength to the left and right. That'll help you with that last plunge you took.
Yes, I can do that.
Nothing like having to do a platforming room with down spikes once and having to do it again.
All right, we're getting some big money.
Yeah, up past 2,000 now. We're doing good. So, it's a good question, Arthur. I didn't even see it. When it gives you the max HP, does it also heal you? Yes, it doesn't just give you the max. It also heals you as well. And I forget if it's proportion. I think it's just straight, and it gives you the 4 max HP. It gives you 4 HP as well, which is really nice. Obviously, we can't see it right now, but yes, that is what's happening. Let's see. So you've got these 4 bosses. You fight the 4 bosses, and when you fight the boss stays beaten. As an important thing to note. So the nice thing is, it's not like you have to beat all 4 bosses in one playthrough, which is really nice because there's actually different builds you kind of want to have for each boss room, which I really enjoy and appreciate that. And then you unlock the main boss and you can get out. Now, there are things that are called different blessings. You've not run across the blessings in Ultra yet for some strange reason. Not sure why you have it. I tend to run across them like every single run. Ooh, down he goes. One of those things that's probably keeping TNR alive. Yeah, very. When you get a blessing, different things can happen, but after you defeat the first boss, you can get a special blessing, then we'll unlock the extra boss plus mode of the game. And this is actually an interesting piece of replayability. Yeah. So this is sort of akin to if you want to just beat a part of the game based on skill, then that's what these areas, they've got 4 of them. Obviously, you beat each boss once, and you can go back into the boss level later. And they call that basically the boss remixes. Okay. Sorry, let's chat about. Do you want to talk about the people here? I'll come back to the remixes.
Sure, whatever. I mean, the question is gigantic or tiny? Dwarfism.
I would go tiny. I don't like being gigantic. I know your reach isn't as far.
The reach is huge. It's a huge deal for me.
Oh, really?
No.
So your hitbox is also big.
Upgrade the lick?
Yes.
Yeah?
Because then you get the convert max HP and a max MP switch. That's where you can get an OP lich. Especially because now you have the ability to upgrade your Death Defy.
Oh, of course. I have 300. I don't think.
Maybe you can buy a piece of armor.
Maybe.
Anything else to buy there? You might be able to buy a piece of armor for 3. You forgot to upgrade your weapon or your ability to carry weight. Actually, you might still have enough to do that. Go back to the castle.
Yeah, maybe. Oh wait, there's no.
There's not. Bummer. You gotta remember that for next time.
No, I was doing the lick or the like.
I know.
That's
my fault.
Ooh, Night Helm increases my mana.
Yeah, just
more health.
You won't be able to. No, you can equip it. Yeah, you're good. Health and mana. That's nice.
Yeah, I like health and mana.
Health and mana is good. Well, health and mana is good. See, now you can go through all the secret passages. Now, when you go into a room, look for those places, because oftentimes you can skip having to fight a lot of bosses because, or not bosses, but enemies, because you can sneak around them through the walls.
That's a lot of money.
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
Or just run it. If you just run into the zombie, it helps.
Wow. What in the world? Change the music?
Yeah, the jukebox. I would usually change it to the.
What in the world is this?
Forest. That's you're using mana while you're doing that, so you know. Gotta hit it again to make it stop. That's your spell.
No fighting. I already booked that. Crap.
Yeah.
That
you should have used.
Great. I know.
You should have used the spell.
I get it.
Although I believe the spell might count as fighting.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I know getting hit or hitting counted as fighting. I think last time.
Yeah. No, but you can get hit in that room where it says no fighting. You just can't do the hitting yourself.
You can't do the hitting.
Right. I don't know if this room is worth it. I don't think there's anything in this room. No.
There's that.
There's a piece of health regenerate. Yeah.
The fighting girl! Objective failed.
6 HP. Doing well.
What? I just don't like this. He's so speedy and tiny. It was too sensitive.
Well, then don't take it. I mean, again, this is where you find your own place. Find your own way of. But anyways, the remixes. Oh, after I get back to it after you died. Archmage was the Chakram and 2 others.
Yeah, but the Lich now is upgraded. Lich is upgraded.
The Lich Queen, yes. With OCD is actually nice as well.
Yeah, with OCD, yeah, exactly. So you can't ignore it.
Not enough money to do anything.
Not enough money to do it.
Alright, so remix bosses. When you go into the remix boss area...
I thought we were close to that, though. Okay,
no,
go
not
ahead.
you. I'm saying
for the people who've been listening to this podcast and are already better than me.
They've been playing.
They've been playing since I've been playing, and they've beaten it twice.
They bought the game. They had to download it and start playing it, and they've gotten past the second boss by now. So what you're going to want to do now is there's the remix bosses. So you go back into the boss areas you fought. You have to unlock them with a special token that you get by playing through and finding them in the blessings rooms. And then you become a preset character with preset skills and strength, etc. And you have to beat a version of that boss with that specific character. So it's a way to basically just test your skill in playing the game, regardless of the upgrades that you have. Which is, it's not necessary to the game. You don't have to do it. It's completely one of those, achievement hunting things.
Sure.
But it satisfies a lot of that. People saying, oh, the game is just about your upgrades. Well, no, it's not. You actually get better at playing the game.
Sure.
Not just having a stronger weapon.
It's like starting over with Binding of Isaac with a new load.
Exactly. It's just like
quickly getting a lot of the achievements from scratch.
There's actually something that I've liked to do, and I'll go back and play it, which is I'll start over with a complete file and see how long it will take me to get to how few deaths I can do to get to certain levels.
Right. Where you were learning the game, the first run, you already passed that. It's gonna go much better.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, here's a blessing room. Perfect. So you'll get a random blessing now when you do this.
Hedgehog's curse. Sonic?
Oh.
It's a curse?
So you know what happens to Sonic when he gets hit?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Welcome to the worst blessing. This is not a blessing.
Blessing? What the heck?
It's not a blessing.
Blessing.
The Hedgehog's curse sucks.
What in the world?
Go, leave. Go away. You're losing money. MP.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, the R30 had a point there. Yeah. Like for him with Dead Cells, for example, a lot of use them when he got started. Same with Into the Breach. Yeah. Any game that you play.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Oh my.
Wow, I just watched him
hit you up there. He slashed you.
Oh, what a nightmare. Slain by a stinking skeleton. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Sir Gray is a Lit King. Special HP conversion.
He's a hyper gonadism.
Faster.
That's a really good one. And he's got the flame barrier, which can be cool. Of course, it can shoot through your MP really fast, but it's really cool. Test it out right here, you'll see what I mean.
That's 300. 300. That's the cheapest. Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah, and again, that's another spell you have to stop by hitting the spell again, or you're going to go shoot through your MP. So
Toggle.
now you'll be able to see your MP going up as you play. And then at some point, if you want to convert your HP into MP, which I'm not sure why you would want to do that now.
Right.
But if you ever got to that point, you would hit the top button, just like you would do for the spell cycle.
Oh, for Pete's sake, all these advanced plans. I'm just jumping around and getting hit too fast. To Leroy Jenkins, you are correct, sir.
Plan out your moves.
Well, if Minor forces me to change the way I play. Because it really can't hurt guys well.
Oh, a tiny minor? Yeah, that's just basically don't attack anybody ever.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna go attack no one.
Attack 0 people exactly.
It's gonna force me to pay attention and learn the patterns. Watch out for this. Crud.
So I mean, yeah. So other than seeing a couple of the other areas that we have. But we hopped into all 4 of them briefly, and you saw the one boss, and there's 2 other bosses that are all distinctly different. They're always the same bosses though in each room. It's not like you have different bosses you couldn't get to. That's an important note. It's not like there's 9 different bosses. There's only 4 mini bosses in the final boss. Look at you learning how to sneak around. What I've always found, though, I tend to get really unlucky.
You tend to what?
I tend to get really unlucky. But there is a chest over there. In that, when I finally go in, someone with dwarfism, I never get any of the secret passages.
Right.
Leave and never come back. Oh, wow. I'm all out.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that because of the stupid.
Do you have a... Oh yeah, he's not a real... Like, why is there a slime?
He's not real.
Not real.
He's not real.
Not really real. Look, there's a secret passage, but you got a frickin' bullets flying through it. And you find that with, like, the ice mage there, you know,
That's fun.
whatever they're called, that they always, at least the first level, they always shoot out in that one single pattern. So they're actually really easy to avoid.
Right.
It's just, there's a lot of learning not to freak out in this game, you know? You know, even the Flame Lock, who does shoot the fireballs straight for you, will always shoot 3 of your fireballs at you wherever you're standing at the exact moment it fires. So you can basically move
Keep
a little
moving.
bit, move a little bit, move a little bit, and they're not going to hit you.
Now, what about this dude?
He's an elemental. Get the chest and go. Or no, he's fire. Actually, get the chest and hit start and leave. Or get hit.
Oh, get the chest and hit start, then leave.
Yeah.
That's
Or
a
you
little
could
tricky.
basically, if you're using the sprint dash too, which if you remember to use it, you'll really improve.
Right, yes.
Use the sprint dash in, hit the chest, sprint dash back out. I've done that numerous times because the chests aren't locked. You're not required to beat the enemies in the room to get a chest, usually.
So I don't think I've ever played a Savant before.
So he will fire the axe out behind him, which I still maintain is sometimes a more desirable outcome anyway. You just have to remember that if you're wanting to use your axe. Hey, armor upgrade. So 2 above your heart. You need at least, yeah, you need at least that much to get your other sword equipped. So see if you can equip it now.
I can't. It's still red at least. But
Well,
maybe that's just
no,
black.
the sword is red.
Okay.
So see if
there
you
you go.
equip
I
it.
can. Very good.
Equipped.
Equipped.
So now you have 2 vampirism because you have the blood cape as well, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. You have the red cape as well. I just saw your comment there, Arthur. I don't know why I didn't see it for a while. Back when you were the tiny miner, he said a dwarven miner thematic. Very true. This is in the theme. So that's what I was saying. I was talking before a little bit about cheesing those flame locks. When you walked into the room, the flame locks all had their hands lit, casting a spell. If you had left and come back in, they would have been on their other cycle, and they would not have been casting a spell. You would have been able to take them out before they attack. So that's what I like to do. Is in a new room, I like to go into the room, immediately leave, think about what I saw, and then go into the room. So it's sort of this. Anyone who ever watches me plays just gets sick of seeing me go into a room and exiting me. Like every room I do that just as an automatic, like, nervous tick. Just because there's so many things, especially later in the level, that kill you immediately. So I like go in and go back out. If you would do this, yeah, make sure you make good use of your skill.
Go!
Oh no!
That sucks. Oh my gosh!
You had it too. That higher ledge.
Phooey.
Yeah, see, every time you take out an enemy, I think you're healing 2 HP every time you take out an enemy now. Yeah, 2 HP, because you have the blood sword and the blood cape.
No jumping.
Yep. You need a double dash rune, which you don't have. So, there is something else that you can do as well. Back in the main area after you die, which is there's a guy there standing next to like a big cog thing. He can lock down the castle.
Right.
So the next time you go in, you're going into exactly the same castle again. I'll go down on that little platform there in the little room that looks like it goes nowhere, and walk to the right. There you go. Wasn't sure if you knew about that. And you go down. There you go. And so when you see things like that, what you could do, if you have a second dash rune, you can equip the second dash rune, lock down the dungeon, so the castle does not change, and then you can go back into it, go back to that room to get that fairy chest. Now, when you lock down the dungeon, the guy who locks it down for you takes a tax, like a 30% tax on all the gold you find. So it does cost you, but for the purpose of getting rune chests and blueprint chests and fairy rooms, it's a very useful thing to do, especially if you're trying to 100% the game. So yeah. So you want to do one more run through, one or two more?
Yeah.
Don't know what you're feeling.
I'm thinking one or two more.
Nice.
Upgrade the knave. May open up other things.
Yep, I think he will. I know he does, actually. There's actually a fair amount over on the right side still to be unlocked.
Potion
Knives,
up.
the knaves become assassins. Potion up, that's right. Potion up's a good one. Upgrade your miner to become a full-fledged adult.
What does the miner turn into?
No. He becomes a spelunker. He gets a flashlight on his helmet, which you can turn on and off. But it doesn't do anything. It just, he doesn't have a flashlight you can turn on and off. There's a lot in this game which is just there because it's funny. Like I kind of, you can tell like a lot of the sense of humor that a team of developers would never been able to add in is in this game because it was two guys, and they were brothers, and they have a certain sense of humor, and they included their sense of humor in the whole game. I like that.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, not a good room. So we probably hit realm. Yeah, anytime you get to those little teleport portals like that, you're.
The break.
It's the break before the entrance to the next realm.
I see. And
dark will always be, relatively speaking, will always be down. The Maya will always be relatively up, and the Forest will relatively always be to the right, roughly speaking. Like if you were to build out the whole map, that's how you would have arranged it. So close. So close.
All right.
So, what do you think? Are we going to call that an episode, or do you want to do a few more?
It's pretty brutal. Pretty brutal.
we can call it an episode.
Like, I do think you should know this game.
Yes. Like, this is
a foundational game.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why it's one of the first 10 games that we're doing. Now, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that the reason why we've done all the games we've done so far is because it's a foundational.
But it was
like
certainly,
Into the Breach is a good game, but it's not a foundational roguelike. But Rogue Legacy definitely is.
Yeah. I think for you personally, this is one of the things that got you into roguelikes, right?
Oh, 100%. This was the game that kicked off my desire to explore the genre at all. Which
you got committed to it on a deeper level than I think just like I did with Binding of Isaac, I think, and that being my entryway.
So yeah, shoutouts to in Rogue HQ, my friend Norjess, who is a friend of mine from college. He actually said, "Hey, Rogue Legacy. This was I don't remember how many years ago. Rogue Legacy seems like a game you might like. You should check it out." This was probably a few years ago, and it's one of the first games I played through nonstop till I'd beaten it. I'd never done that before with a game, ever. I have such a short attention span.
Sure.
Me
too.
And then I got done with that one, and he told me about this one, and then Binding of Isaac was after that, but it took me a little bit longer to get into Binding of Isaac. Yeah, Rogue Legacy, this is what got me into the genre.
Well, that's huge.
Yeah.
It's a huge motivator to then go on to do Rogue HQ. So I appreciate where it's coming from, and I think it is hard, and I appreciate the frustration. The unlocks, I think, are going to help me just be more predictably in front of the mobs that have the crazy patterns that I need to learn before I can go into them, and sometimes it's kind of chicken or egg.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad I played a chunk of it yesterday and a chunk of it today.
Yeah.
You were able to coach me along. I'm glad I upgraded the licks. Likes, whatever.
Don't lick the like.
Don't lick the like.
Cool, yeah, but everyone, R30 saying everyone needs a game to start with. This is definitely a good one to start with.
Great one to start with.
I think we're going to be working on that soon. One of our topics for Going Rogue is going to be talking about what are the games you should start with. We kind of touched on that, but I think we actually want to build out what's our definitive list. And all of us have it, because I know between you, me, Ontario, and Gambino, I know we'll all have different lists.
The gateway games.
What's that?
Gateway gaming.
Yeah. Like, what if we had to have a top 5 or a top, I don't know, however many? What would be our top 5? And then kind of compare lists of what would get you hooked on the genre. You know, so cool. Well, I think it's going to do it for our episode. We are planning our next one, I believe. Date, never know for sure. But next we're going to do a game. I don't know if you've heard of this one. It's called Slay the Spire.
I tried not to reference it constantly.
Yeah, I know. Definitely, I know it's on my foundational list for sure. And one of which actually, as we're talking about today, Hearthstone, Blizzard's trying to get in on the Slay the Spire thing with their most recent Hearthstone update. Interesting. But yeah, Slay the Spire, I think we'll be talking about that hopefully sometime next week, so stay tuned to that. But yeah. Anyways. Appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.